so fat and nasty.
Okay, last 2 minutes my game, bit. Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch.
If you're familiar with my channel, you should know that I really like Punch-Out. It's one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time, and when I was making that video talking about it, I discovered a game. This is Power Punch 2, the Lost Punch-Out sequel. Now don't worry, this isn't a creepypasta, baldbull.exe isn't real, and he can't hurt you. The game was actually supposed to be called Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch, and instead of Nintendo developing the game, it was actually some game company just trying to get money. I mean, if it worked for Nintendo, it should work for us! Sure, Punch-Out on the NES is a great game on its own, even without Mike Tyson's inclusion. But in the beginning, that Mike Tyson endorsement was pretty much the entire image of the game in North America. I mean, whenever the game's brought up in media, it's usually the Mike Tyson's
Punch-Out. I have been stuck on
Crack? What the fuck?
When the game was pretty much near complete, Mike Tyson had to be removed because during the time he was being convicted for rape, but they barely changed Mike Tyson's appearance. You can obviously tell he's based off of him. Nintendo was like, here's a random white guy. I mean, that's all he really is. He just shows up in one of your dreams. And of course, we can't ignore the fact that this is Power Punch 2. Where's Power Punch 1? Considering how the game already from the get-go was going to be a basic Punch-Out clone, it wouldn't surprise me if they try to gaslight people into thinking it was a sequel. During this time, game companies would just farm out genuine garbage to make money off of poor young kids.
This game is fucking horrible!
Power Punch 2 is a game that takes place in the far future of 20 years ago. You play as Mark Tyler, but everyone around here calls him Tough Guy. Apparently your boxing is so good that it's grabbed the attention of an intergalactic federation of super boxers, where you're then challenged by boxers from around the universe. More like from around the masters of the universe. The vibes I'm getting from these characters is He-Man villain rejects. A part of me is disappointed because I actually don't mind the designs of these characters in the manual, but for some reason in the game they just look fucking ugly. And these observers in the background, you got Michael Myers and an Oompa Loompa right here. Before you fight your opponents in the game, there's a workout section where you spar with a robot. I think it's probably Vinny from Spaceballs.
You're delicious.
Training actually builds up energy and strength that you can use during the fight. But I'm not kidding you, unless you can do this with your fucking eyes, hitting these hands is extremely hard. I just say fucking and skip the workout. I don't really even notice a difference anyways. And yeah, the gameplay is very similar to Punch-Out, but not like Punch-Out on the NES, believe it or not. It's more similar to the arcade ports of Punch-Out, and even though those games were a little rough, Power Punch 2 has straight up no reason to play it at all. Like here's 9763 Borg. Right off the bat, what the fuck is this name, okay? I mean, this is the first opponent you fight in the game, yet this character takes too many punches to get knocked down. You should not make that your first character you fight, and despite being able to move side to side on the screen, the opponent will always follow you, so you know dodging in this game is pretty much impossible. And the most fucked up thing about this character is that you fight him twice in the game, yet for some reason I actually found the second fight way easier when he's supposed to be more challenging. Not only are the characters absolute slogfests to fight, but several of them are just blatant reskins of other characters. They go as far as to say that these two are actually brothers, but come on. I know what a goddamn paint bucket tool is. Oh, and remember when Mario was that referee in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Power Punch 2 has the same thing, kinda. Speaking of which, let's compare the games. Power Punch 2 feels like a mirrored reflection of what Punch-Out on the NES was. Little Mac was an underdog who battles and beats these large, strong opponents, with some of them not even being in the same weight class.
Dang son, I wouldn't want to face this suck on a food eating competition.
Damn! When you're fighting Mike Tyson, it's made very clear that it was all a dream, which is why he was changed to Mr. Dream. Power Punch 2 was like, you're the best boxer on the planet, and you gotta fight all these aliens. You're not working up to be the best, you just are the best, and you're trying to keep being the best. And with how hard it is to fight these fucking aliens, Mark Tyler should just give up. Be the best boxer on Earth, what's wrong with that? It's not like these aliens are saying, we're gonna blow up the planet. The only motive he has is just keeping his ego in place. Does Power Punch 2 have to be like Punch-Out? No. But if you're going to make a certain genre of game, it's important to understand what's fundamental to that genre in order to actually be fun. I mean, look, I wouldn't be comparing this to Punch-Out so much if they didn't try to copycat it so badly. They really could have benefited from the sci-fi elements to make this game more unique, but it just comes off as a worse version of a game that already exists. That also makes you think that it's a part of a game series that's very popular. Despite the difficulty though, it's actually really easy to cheat through this entire game. As long as you hold down a combination of buttons and start a la Super Smash Bros. You can actually just blast through this entire game doing no fighting whatsoever and just win.
I found the Power Punch game that you were fucking talking about.
Power Punch for the Wii! This isn't the missing prequel to Power Punch 2, this is yet again an entirely separate boxing game that has a vague connection to another boxing game that also has a vague connection to another boxing game. Am I the only one who finds that shit fishy? Not to get on conspiracy levels or anything. Look at these two options the game gives you. Challenge mode. Challenge the best from around the world. Versus mode. Fight. I'm not a professional game graphic designer or anything, but this is lazy, come on. They literally only punctuated that first option, leaving the rest to look like incomplete sentences. I will give the game one credit though. The music is pretty alright. I mean, it's not like super crazy, but you know somebody was going ham mixing that shit when you hear it. Control wise, this game doesn't actually control like any of the other Punch-Outs, so I can give it that. But there is so many goddamn choices, including one where you use two Wii Motion Plus controllers for both of your hands. Imagine if the game came with an extra Wii Motion Plus controller for that. In case if it wasn't complicated enough for you, there's different modes within the 4 different play styles. I mean, I guess some people might like the amount of options the game gives you. I just get really fucking confused when I try to figure it out. And I don't know who the hell grabbed all these sound effects, but they sound like they were just ripped straight from Jet Set Radio. For the game itself, it kind of feels more like a 2D fighting game than a Punch-Out game. You got character selection and a map screen. When I first started playing, I didn't even know what the hell these bars on the top were supposed to be for, so I looked into the manual to see if it says anything, and all it talks about is the controls. What a fucking stupid manual. The characters listed are almost in the same vein as Punch-Out, since they're all from different countries and areas of the world. But there's no story or anything that makes these characters memorable. Punch-Out on the Wii gave you whole-ass backstories, as well as dialogue in between fights that actually show how each character acted as a person.
I like raw fish.
At least Power Punch 2 had beep boop bop I am a robot or whatever the fuck. Even though most of the characters in Power Punch 2 are just cheesy and cheap, I can say this character is pretty interesting and all he really is a walking crotch. When I saw Gus Harris, I just kinda thought to myself, man, that looks like Kid Rock. And that's all I really could say about the characters from this game. Whenever you knock out an opponent, it does this multi-camera replay. If it only did this every time you won a match, I'd be totally fine with that. But no, they do it every time somebody gets knocked down. Knockout? More like knock this shit the fuck off. It might not seem a lot, but it's unskippable and it's really annoying. But at least you can do this little dance whenever someone gets knocked out. The fighting is fine, but I will say it gets harder to be able to dodge and block at the right time because there aren't really any cues. It's kind of like a guessing game. My best method was just clobbering your opponents as much as you can and just carefully dodge. Well, I wish I could say there's no more Power Punch games, but technically in 2024, some game company made an online fighting game called Power Punch Healthy Workout. I don't know. I mean, to even say Power Punch for the Wii has any link to all of this is kind of stretching it. Yeah, the art style might look similar, but that's really about it. All I can say about that game is it's more of just a fighting game than a Punch-Out-esque experience. Power Punch 2, now that's a little bit shadier. I think the originally planned Mike Tyson endorsement and the fact that it was renamed to sound like a sequel, this was not some random coincidence. It was a wannabe Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and if you thought that was the end of Power Punch Punch 2. Well, some company actually went through the trouble of acquiring the game and putting it on PC. So just in case you missed out on the hype, all you gotta do is fork over $8. The game even became a part of the Pico Interactive Collection on the Evercade. The Evercade is pretty cool for what it is, but the fact that the game company Pico brands this game as a part of the Pico Collection when all they did was acquire it is so weird to me. It's like if Rare Replay was just called Xbox Replay just because Microsoft acquired Rare back then. As of currently, Nintendo has not made a new Punch-Out in almost 20 years. And personally, I think it's more likely that they're just gonna make Punch-Out for the Wii re-released on the Switch rather than a full-fledged new Punch-Out game. Not that I wouldn't want a new Punch-Out game, I just think it makes more sense given how the Switch is like a spiritual successor to the Wii with the whole, Switch Joy-Cons. And if they decide to put Punch-Out for the Wii on the Switch, then I'd be just as happy for that too. As long as it's reasonably priced. But whether they do or don't, maybe a game company will make another game called Power Punch 4 and it has nothing to do with the other Power Punches.